This is the story of how I proposed to my best friend and girlfriend, Lauren. I'm posting this one because I can't wait to have this memory and video for the rest of my life. Like, my kids and my grandkids are gonna see it. And two, because marriage seems to be out of style these days, and I think marriage is awesome, God loves it, and I want to encourage my bros out there to put a ring on it. So we met each other 5 years ago when I first visited the States. I lived in South Africa at the time and lived there for another 2 years, but we Skyped and became really good friends. I moved to the US after high school, and 6 months later, I took her to prom. I asked her out slow dancing on the Potomac River next to DC. And that was 3 years ago. Today, I'm asking her to marry me. The day started with a friend, Abby, picking her up to go to lunch, or so Lauren thought. Really, she was taking her here, to the church lobby where I first met Lauren. We made a little daisy circle with some notes and other things in the exact spot where I first met her. With a hidden camera set up, we waited for them to arrive from a room above.
My heart's moving, man.
Abby made up some sort of excuse to bring Lauren this way, and sure enough, Lauren sees the flowers on the floor. She started crying when she realized what today was going to be. I had all kinds of emotions watching her from above. The note told her that she's taken me on an amazing adventure the last 3 years, so I thought today I'd return the favor and take her through an adventure through the places that were significant to us. The clue had her head back to her house where we were in her first picture together. There they had lunch. From there, her next clue led her to the spot where we told each other that we had feelings for each other. This was just down in her basement. The clue she found there led her to the fourth spot of the day. This tree. Very sadly, the drawing that her little sister drew for her had fallen into the water by then, but it didn't matter too much. It was on this tree that we watched the sun go down on our first ever walk together. Since we've been dating, we've gone back to this tree many times in every different season, and it's always been there for us, and we just love it. The clue there led her to a spot where I picked her up for our first date. Here is where the day got fun. The next clue led to where we watched the sun go down on our first date. Abby told her to face the sun and to not turn around. I snuck out and hugged her from behind. In my mind, this was going to be a super cute romantic moment, but it was 95 degrees and I just ran there, so I was sweating like crazy. And all she had to say was, "Ew, babe!" Anyway, I disappeared again, and when the time was right, I gave Abby the green light, and she brought Lauren down and across the bridge. All of a sudden, she just saw my brother dancing in front of her, and then her sister, and then a bunch of her closest friends. And just like that, a whole flash mob broke out in front of her with her best friends and family. The whole video is uploaded onto this YouTube account. I'll link it down below in the description. The flash mob finished, and everybody ghosted, leaving her alone. She was given her next clue, which took her to dinner down where we had our first date. The restaurant was super kind and treated her well and played the playlist that I gave them. Finally, Abby took her home and gave her a few minutes to get changed. She blindfolded her and drove her down to Washington, DC, where it all started. Our friends led her to the boat. I was waiting for her. I'll never forget those seconds, watching her walk down towards me. We pulled out of harbor and talked a little bit about the day and laughed a lot. It was crazy being here together 3 years later, just like a prom. I even asked her to dance with me. We also tried to not fall in because it was pretty bumpy. We shared some private words, and then when the time was right, my heart could not have been more full celebrating with loved ones. Until a certain day next year, this was the greatest day of my life.